Hey guys, Serenity here, and today I'm going to be reading today called Canned and Crushed. And I want to wish y'all again Happy Easter. And I'm only going to read half of this book today. It's Canned and Crushed by B.B. Belford. This book is dedicated to the students of District 131 who have enriched my life and taught me more than I ever taught them, and to my colleagues who work hard to ignite a passion for reading every day. Chapter 1, Explain Yourself. So you notice I'm standing in the hall. Yes, I'm in trouble. You probably want to know why. 30 seconds ago, I told Miss Hamilton, my teacher, with 6 toes on her right foot, that my dad's job was helping dead animals. She told me to go to the hall and be ready to explain myself. But how should I start to explain myself? I mean, in your opinion, how would you explain yourself? I'm 4 feet 2.5 inches tall, shorter than most of the boys in my class, but taller than at least 5 girls, so at least there's that. I'm even 11 years and 2 weeks old. I have my birthday on the first day of school, which stinks. Anybody with an early September birthday really gets a raw deal. I mean, geez whiz. The birthday policy isn't even up and running by the first day of school. And how do you know which kids might be cool enough to invite to your birthday party? I only started at Lincoln Elementary last year in the spring when we moved across town, so it's tough to judge who's cool and who isn't. Of course, by the second week of school, things are sorted out. Then, those lucky birthday buzzards get to wear a crown, and the whole class sings to them. Maybe they even get a birthday pencil. And if I did get to have a party, which I never do by then, I know exactly who to leave off the invite list. For starters, someone whose initials are A.K. A.K. Dot. Not that my birthday is a big deal. I'm not Abiola Khan, for crying out loud, in 3rd grade. Abiola's parents brought pizza and goodie bags to school to celebrate their princess. There were little flower erasers for the girls and soccer ball erasers for the boys. Overboard, I say, of course. If you want to make friends and win enemies, pizza and goodie bags are a start. But I'm off track here. Let's get back to explaining about myself. I'm supposed to be in 5th grade. I know what you're thinking. And no, I didn't flunk when I was 5. I lived in Mexico, and the school in my town didn't have a kindergarten. So, when I registered here, instead of putting me in 1st grade where I belonged, they stuck me in kindergarten, and look how well it worked. I'm smart and bilingual, and the oldest of all the 4th graders in my class. My hair is jet black. I got that color name from a label on one of my little sister's crayons. Jet black. It sounds cool, of course. I've never seen a black jet. Have you? I remember the jet we took here from Mexico, purple with an orange sun on the side. Maybe fighter jets are jet black. So here I am standing in the hallway. I'm not sure why I need to explain myself to Miss Hamilton. She can plainly see I'm 4 feet 2.5 inches tall and good looking with my jet black hair. That is past my jet black eyebrows because I need a haircut. Maybe I should start by explaining the things she can't see, like how someday I want to be a professional soccer player and also an inventor. I'm always thinking of better ways to make stuff. Take, for example, a can of soda. Wouldn't it be great to have a fizz meter on it. At a party, when no parents are watching, you can turn it up and shoot soda spray up into the air or drink it so fast that your burps are louder than drag racers. And in the lunchroom at school, you could collaborate it to shoot discreetly at certain annoying girls sitting across from you at the lunch table. Uh-oh, here comes Miss Hamilton now. Watch and learn, compadres. Sandro. Yes. Are you ready to explain yourself? Now, here's something that really bugs me about teachers and grown-ups in general. They ask you a question, but before you can answer the first question, they become a pinching machine and start firing questions at you, or worse, they answer for you. Sandro, do you make these stories up for attention, to get a laugh? Do you think they're funny? Of course, I'm not going to correct a teacher when she's on a roll. But that last comment was erroneous. Now, that's an impressive word, isn't it? As you can see, I'm working on my vocabulary. I could just say false, but Uranus made you sit up and take notice, didn't it? Yeah, I thought so. Anyway, the whole class thought my answer was hysterical. Even though I wasn't trying to be funny, Abiola practically fell out of her perfect little desk, laughing uproariously, her long braid waving frantically. I think that's what got to Miss Hamilton. Maybe Miss Hamilton doesn't have a sense of humor. It's a little early in the school year to tell. Here's what I've learned in my 4 years of elementary school experience. So far, squeeze your eyebrows together, keep your lips tightly closed, and nod your head like you suddenly see things from the teacher's perspective. Miss Hamilton's shoulders shifted down when I did my little trick, and she moved her arms from her hips to crisscrossing her stomach. That's another good sign, by the way. Okay, Sandro, tell me the truth in Charlotte's Web. Fern's father makes a living by farming. How does your father make a living? I can see through the window in the door that my class is starting to lose it while we're out in the hall. My friend Miguel shot a three-pointer with his crumpled paper wad. Jazzy made a fish face at me in the window of the door, and Raph is catapulting pencils off his desk. I wonder what Lorenzo is doing over by the sink. I'm thinking fast. How should I answer this? For one thing, why is a person's job described as a living? Living is breathing with your heart pumping. Is a person without a job dying? Are these questions violations of some privacy law? Do I need a lawyer? Is this a courtroom? Raise your hand and tell the truth. The whole truth and nodding, but the truth, so help you God. Okay, I might be overreacting. I mean, this is mildly annoying, except I do want to stick up for my dad. It's the principle of the thing, and speaking of principles, I really don't want to be sent to the principal for a second time in 2 weeks. Miss Hamilton didn't actually say the whole truth, did she? Maybe a partial truth will do, or maybe you should call it a little white lie. This truth thing can get pretty complicated. Promise you won't go blabbing? Then I will tell you the whole truth. My dad is officially laid off from his official job. He fell off a scaffold while he was fitting shingles on a roof. He doesn't have a legal permit to work in the U.S., so he can't get workman's compensation or unemployment. He was working for a guy who knew my Uncle Pablo. You know how that goes. I see your mind turning. Undocumented worker. You're thinking illegal. Well, nothing is as it appears on the surface. Remember that. Always go deeper. The tiny little iceberg triangle you see above the surface is a small portion of the giant mountain of ice underneath, big enough to sink the Titanic. My dad has an engineering degree from the best technical institute in Mexico City. He has the same brilliant inventor ideas as me, but here's the thing. My dad comes from the ancient Zapotec people, the noblest Mexican Indians. Do you know anything about family heritage? Well, if you do, you know that people can get very proud about their family heritage. Being the best provider for his family is in my dad's blood. It's in my blood, too. Since an engineering in Mexico gets paid 2/3 less than one in the U.S., my dad found an American company to sponsor him after he got his degree. But at the last minute, the job fell through. Did he give up? Nope. He was packed and ready to go. So he just risked everything and came here, hoping the company would change its mind after meeting him in person. Sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? Wrong. He should have waited and applied for a worker's permit. Now that he's undocumented, everything is complicated. I try to ask questions to understand it better, but I don't. It's been 5 years, and now Dad says he can't compete with the brand new engineers and their technical knowledge. He says he needs to go back to school. But since me and Gyrosol and my mom came here to live with him 4 years ago, all he does is work. And guess what? He makes more money pounding nails in the U.S. than engineers make in Mexico. Now, my dad is hurt, so my mom, who is still working on her English, got a cleaning job to pay the bills. Parents still need to feed their kids and take them to the doctor when they're sick. My dad can't fit heavy stuff, and he rubs his back and grunts when he stands up. But does he lie around and feel sorry for himself? Nope. Remember, his ancestors are the Zapotecs, the smartest, proudest Mexicans that ever lived. I want to be just like my dad. He works 2 jobs now, but they're not real jobs. For one job, he picks up roadkill for the Department of Streets and Sanitation and gets paid by the carcass gross. For the second job, he collects scrap metal to recycle for cash. Things like rusty old bikes and pipes, with yours truly doing a lot of the lifting. Now, what would you tell your nosy teacher about how your dad makes a living? Here's what I decide to do. My dad is unemployed. Thank you, Sandro. There's no shame in being unemployed. He'll find a job soon, I'm sure. Aren't you sorry you caused such a thing? Now let's turn over a new leaf, shall we? No, actually, I'm not sorry. I'm never sorry. Would the Avengers be sorry? Would my Zapotec dad be sorry? No, wait, Jose. The shall we request reminds me of my visit to the principal on the first day of school, and if you're not too bored, I should probably tell you about it now. While I'm divulging all this information, on our first day, we took a tour of the grand old school, most likely to kill time, while Miss Hamilton was memorizing our names. I mean, seriously, what do most of us care about at school? Making sure we know how to get to the playground, gym, and bathroom, not always in that order. Anyway, our class climbed the flight of stairs from our second floor, the main, to the third floor, where the fifth graders rule. They even have their own computer lab up there so they don't have to associate with the rest of us. Last year, we never went up to the third floor. I guess we were too young to be aware of the dangers. I mean, there is just that one railing, and it's a long way down. I think by the time we got up there, we heard 1,000 shall we's. Let's be quiet in the hallway, shall we? Let's take a peek in the library, shall we? Let's show the first graders our best manners, shall we? So, at the top of the stairs, of course, we knew a shall we was coming. Let's keep our hands on this side of the railing, shall we? And I snapped just like that. I mean, that, what was the good of being higher up in the sky than I had ever been, except for that one airplane ride? So I leaned over that railing and let fly the biggest wad of spit I could muster on short notice, and from way down on the first floor, you could actually hear a splat, which was actually what I was hoping for. But then a face looked up from the first floor, and the next thing I knew, I wasn't on the tour anymore. Instead, I'm in Principal Smalley's office, and his face looks even madder than it did from way down on the first floor. And while I'm supposed to be thinking about my actions, I'm really thinking about Principal Smalley and wondering if he was ever a kid who let fly a wad of spit. So anyway, that's how fourth grade is going for me. Day 1, office visit. Week 2, hall visit. I followed Miss Hamilton back into the classroom. She doesn't notice the kids scurrying into place or the pencils poking down from the ceiling. I sit and my backside feels wet. I immediately know what Lorenzo was doing at the sink. Arg! He better not linger around after school. I stare at my open copy of Charlotte's Web, but all I see is my dad, the crinkles around his eyes, the rock-like muscles of his arms, the tree smell on his cheeks after he shaves, and how he laughs when Gyrosol and I tackle him and tickle. Fern's dad kills animals for a living because a farmer, and no one thinks that's gross. My dad just picks them up off the street and puts them in a landfill where they can decay gracefully. Now, I'm asking you, what do you think? Which one is more humane? Alright guys, like, comment, and subscribe and share, and leave it in the, I read chapter 1, so, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and tonight, I will read chapter 2. Alright guys, see you tonight on the next chapter of Canned and Crushed. And have a good Easter. Okay, bye-bye, guys.